Developing right now, President Trump and the Chinese government are looking to settle the trade war. We'll have the latest update just in this morning.
Authorities are sharing this morning.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Hopefully your Monday is off to a little bit of a better start than our crew out in the field this morning. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. It is Monday, August 26th, and Hattie's back with us. The whole gang is back.
So happy to be back.
A great Monday here at News 3 Now.
A great vacation in Yellowstone, but always nice to get back to routine and the lack of wildlife. You don't have to be terrified of bears and
or a
elk.
moose. You saw a moose and the baby moose.
Saw moose, bison, bear, grizzly bear. Saw it all.
You did bring back some mountain weather, it seems like. A little bit cooler today.
Yeah, there is kind of like a touch of fall in the air this morning. It might be the rain as well. If you're just waking up, you may be hearing some raindrops on the window panes. We do have some light rain scattered across southern Wisconsin. Definitely a cloudy start to the day. And unfortunately, we're going to keep those clouds through the day. Take a look at Doppler track and you can see some pretty widespread rain just south and east of Madison. Now today, the rain is lifting from south to north as a storm system tracks just to our south. The risk for severe weather is pretty low, but you may hear a few rumbles of thunder. Our temperatures are in the 60s this morning, 61 in the Dells, 63 in Madison, 64 in Janesville. Here's a look at that temperature trend. With clouds, rain, and an east wind today, I think it is going to be a little cooler with highs only in the 60s in some spots. Best chance to see 70s will be to the south. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps now this morning. Keep in mind that the roads are wet. We are starting to see the usual slowdowns show up on Stoughton Road and the Beltline. A little slow as well on Park Street just south of the Beltline. No accidents though to report around the region this morning, which is great news.
A nice little way to start your day. No traffic, decent weather. We'll take it.
Yeah, today just the rain, but then the rest of the week looks mainly dry.
Love it. Thank you very much, Hattie.
You're welcome.
All right, time right now is 6:02 this morning. We continue to follow breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center out of Fitchburg this morning.
That's where police are on scene of a homicide investigation just off of Fish Hatchery Road. Our Keely Arthur is live there with the latest. Keely?
Good morning, Leah and Josh. Yes, this is a pretty quiet residential area, but police saying this morning it is now the site of a homicide investigation. We're at the 2700 block of Lyman Lane in Fitchburg, and you can see behind me authorities still on the scene this morning, including Fitchburg PD and the Dane County Sheriff's Office. They tell us a person called 911 yesterday around 9 p.m. to report a deceased male. When police arrived, they were able to confirm this and upon further investigation deemed the death a homicide. We don't know the manner of death. We also don't know if this is being considered an isolated incident or if there have been any arrests made. An autopsy is scheduled for this morning. Also don't know the exact address, but you can see right here police kind of moving in between some different houses, but centering on this one right here. As far as the victim, we do know that it is a man. We do not know the age. We do not know the name. The Dane County coroner will have that autopsy, and hopefully we'll get some more of our questions answered later on today. We will bring you those updates, of course, here on News 3 Now this morning and on our website, channel3000.com.
Keely Arthur live in Fitchburg this morning. Keely, thank you.
Breaking nationally overnight, President Trump says China wants to negotiate. He's in France this morning, where the G7 summit will continue this week. Overnight, the president said Beijing called U.S. trade representatives, asking to get back to the bargaining table.
They want to make a deal. They just came out and they want calm, and that's a great thing, frankly.
Just yesterday, President Trump admitted to having some second thoughts about his stance toward Beijing. White House aides later clarified the president's only regret is that he didn't impose higher tariffs on Chinese imports. We are expecting to hear from President Trump later this morning from the G7 summit. CBS This Morning will carry those comments live after 7.
Meanwhile, President Trump now has a competitor for the presidential primary. Conservative radio host and former Illinois Representative Joe Walsh will challenge President Trump for the Republican presidential nomination. Last week, Walsh published an op-ed in the New York Times calling Trump an unfit con man who is bad for the country. Walsh has been making history with headlines with provocative remarks.
A breaking first alert traffic note for you this morning. All lanes are back open on Highway 68 at Lakeland Road in Fox Lake. That intersection was closed for around 3 hours after a crash just after midnight. There are no confirmed injuries at this time. We will, of course, be continuing to update you as we get more information from police. But again, 68 back open this morning.
And another first alert traffic note for you as you're heading out the door this morning. Today is the first day of EPIC's 2019 users group meeting. More than 8,000 people from around the world are in Madison and will be commuting by bus to get you to and from the Verona campus each morning and afternoon. We're expecting this to add to your commute as far as delays goes, especially if you're driving through downtown or in Verona. EPIC is celebrating their 40th year this year.
New this morning and starting today, there is a new way to get between Madison and Sun Prairie. Madison Metro is offering a new express commuter bus line. The route runs between the Capitol Square and Sun Prairie during morning and afternoon peak hours. It includes stops at a new park and ride in Sun Prairie, just off of the Reiner Road Highway 151 exit, as well as Main Street, O'Keefe Avenue, and the Prairie Lake shopping area. This route will also be making limited stops along East Washington Avenue.
Cross Plains community members are using the anniversary of last August's devastating flooding as a way to celebrate. The We Survived the Flood Festival at the American Legion Sunday recognized first responders and volunteers who helped out when the village got about 14 inches of rain. The fire chief says crews responded to a year's worth of calls in just one night with more than 100 people displaced. Residents like Heather Hayes, whose house was severely damaged in that flood, is happy to have a reason to celebrate how far they've come.
It's great to be able to celebrate it. You know, we're not necessarily celebrating the flood, but celebrating, everyone coming together and helping everyone out. So it's really nice that we could be here.
The event was completely free with the opportunity to donate to recovery funds.
Canoers are also coming together after a year after that historic flooding. The flooding water devastated homes and businesses around Coon Valley, and it also took a toll on its economy. Organizers of the Coon Creek canoe races wanted to bring community members together for a day of fun over the weekend while raising money to help with continuing flood management and fixing parts of their park. Canoe racers and spectators enjoyed an after party that lasted into the night on Saturday and also included a fireworks show.
In Ohio, weeks after tragedy, a community is coming together with a benefit concert hosted by Ohio native Dave Chappelle. Thousands lined the streets of the Oregon District yesterday for the Gem City Shine concert, benefiting victims of the recent mass shooting in Dayton. Guests like Jon Stewart, Chance the Rapper, and Stevie Wonder reminded guests of their power to triumph over the tragedy. Many of the attendees were grateful to take in the signs, all while still thinking about those who were lost in that early morning massacre.
It's just waking up and putting your feet on the ground because so many people did not do that behind what happened.
Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley says it was mainly organized by Chappelle, who gathered the guests and brought the stage. The city didn't have to pay a dime. 9 people were killed in that downtown Oregon district earlier this month. Around
the state, white nationalist stickers are popping up around a La Crosse neighborhood, and they have some community members concerned.
That's not what this neighborhood's about. It's not what La Crosse is about, or Wisconsin in general.
Southern Poverty Law Group says this group is one of the white nationalist groups that post the most flyers around the country. The Patriot Front's manifesto says anyone who isn't of European descent can't be American. They're also known to chant Nazi references during protests. The La Crosse Police Department says putting up the stickers is considered vandalism. More local news now. A 44-year-old Milton man is dead after his motorcycle crashed into a car in McFarland. Police say they were called to that crash on Highway 51 at Siggelco Road just before 11:30 yesterday morning and found the motorcycle driver on the ground. Officers say cars were slowing down for a crane walking across the highway. The motorcycle couldn't stop in time and rear-ended the car in front of him. He later died at the hospital. That crash still under investigation. Another motorcyclist recovering this morning after a crash in Madison Saturday night. Police responded to that crash on Aberg and Packer Avenue around 9:20. Officers say a 41-year-old man was riding his motorcycle along that street when a woman pulled out her car in front of him. The crash threw the motorcyclist over the car, giving him serious head injuries that sent him to the hospital. The woman was arrested on suspicion of OWI, causing great bodily harm. That crash is still under investigation. New this morning, the Iowa County Sheriff's Office is asking you to slow down after responding to 4 crashes in less than 2 hours. All 4 of those crashes happened at the intersection of Highway 151 and Highway YZ in Dodgeville. Instead of following the posted detour on State Highway 23 through Dodgeville, many drivers use County Highway YZ to get back onto 151. And if they're headed toward Madison, that means crossing a busy highway.
In a Facebook post, the sheriff's office urged drivers to drive like it's your family, standing along the highway helping others. Work on the interchange is expected to be done in September.
Madison police are still looking for a man who they say robbed a gas station, then fired a gun outside. It happened at the Speedway on Verona Road just after 5 Sunday morning. Police say the man pulled out a handgun and robbed the clerk at gunpoint, took the cash and ran outside, then fired a round from the gun. The clerk was not hurt and there was no property damage there. A canine tried to track the robber but couldn't find him. He was last seen wearing a dark blue hoodie and blue jeans with a handkerchief over his face.
6:10 is your time this morning. A new Iwo Jima memorial is calling Madison home this morning. The Northside VFW hosted veterans and their families yesterday, remembering the Marines and Navy soldiers who gave their lives in the Battle of Iwo Jima in World War II. Some of the veterans in attendance placed sand on the monument, bringing a piece of history to the island from the island to Madison.
Important stuff to remember right there.
All right, coming up on 6:11 right now, the new school year just about a week away for Madisonians. After a trying year last year, teachers and staff are getting together today to address some of those concerns about racial equity. We'll tell you how they're doing that next.
And Hattie has her umbrella ready for the start of your work week. She's got her extended forecast coming up after the break on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. Under the umbrella still with some rain coming down here on the west side of town. You may be hearing those raindrops at your house as well. Over the last 24 hours, rain accumulation has been pretty light and scattered across the area. You may have heard a few of those raindrops late yesterday evening. The rain has increased some overnight. Now, a few rumbles of thunder are possible today, but the risk for severe weather is pretty low. You can see, though, that those showers are moving from south to north this morning as a storm system tracks right across northern Illinois. Another system, a cold front moving across the plains, is generating some shower and thunderstorm activity well to our west right now. That front will continue to track into the area, but the arrival being late tonight means that the risk for severe weather, again, pretty low, just a marginal risk for severe storms across southern Wisconsin, again, later today into tonight. The better chance for severe weather well to our south and west. Here's Weather Track showing you that there are quite a few clouds associated with both of these systems. Expect those clouds to linger through the day. I don't think we're going to see much sunshine today. On and off showers continue through the morning. Might be a little bit of a break through the afternoon hours, but then that front moving through late tonight brings a chance for rain, although the showers and thunderstorms will likely be diminishing as they track into southern Wisconsin. Not able to see a whole lot just yet on the WISC-TV Skycam shot. Pretty cloudy and drippy start to the day here in Madison. Temperatures are in the 60s though, so it's not terribly cold. 63 here in Madison, 63 as well in Mineral Point and Lone Rock, as well as Platteville. Dew points are expected to hover right around 60 through much of the day, so while it may feel a little bit muggy, we're not expected to have real humid conditions. Your future track forecast model says grab the umbrella before you head out the door. Showers are expected on and off today. Again, through the afternoon, there might be a few more dry spots, but then as we head to the evening, that chance for rain continuing with a cold front marching across the region. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Skies turn sunny tomorrow, and we do return to pretty quiet weather conditions through most of the rest of the week. Just a slight chance for rain on Friday. Overall, temperatures staying a little bit below normal for this time of the year. Now it's time to get a look at those first alert traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Jason Stone for all the details. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. No major issues on the Beltline this morning. Drivers are at the posted speed limit. Delays up to 5 minutes on Verona Road at Highway PD in both directions and on Highway 151 from Sun Prairie out to Columbus. And brake lights popping up on West Wash at Broome as construction continues on Bassett and Mifflin. More commuters are making their way to the Capitol Square on East Wash. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thank you very much, Jason. As we get your family ready to head back to school, we are looking back at the last school year for Madison. A number of violent and racially charged incidents marred the district. At least 7 teachers or substitutes lost their jobs or resigned for using racial slurs in the presence of students. But this year, teachers and staff are looking for a big turnaround. Today, for the very first time, the entire district will meet under one roof to talk about racial equity. Thousands of staff and teachers will be at the Coliseum this morning, hearing from keynote speaker Dr. Bettina Love. Love was the headliner of the Racial Justice Summit last year.
Many local students are now rocking a stylish new haircut that they got for free as they head back to school. Barber Jeff Patterson, better known as JP, held his annual free haircut event yesterday at the Alliant Energy Center. Last year, JP and his team did 550 haircuts for kids ranging from kindergartners all the way to high school. More than 40 barbers pitched in over the weekend for this event, hoping to reach 1,000 students.
And he worked with all of the local barbers, actually from as far as Watertown to Dane County in itself, to provide the free haircuts. And people have been willing to give of their time, and it's the coolest event going, I'd like to think.
The Madison Metropolitan School District was at that event as well, giving each kid a free book to read as they waited. JP is also helping hand out 2 scholarships this year named after Taylor Smitty Smith, Madison's first African-American barber.
Our favorite story of the morning right there.
A lot of fresh haircuts right there.
Oh yeah, 6:18 on your Monday. Forget doctor or lawyer. The dream job for the newest generation might not be what you think it is. We're talking about what your kid might want to do when they grow up after the break.
But first, grab that umbrella as you head out the door this morning. We've got a rainy Monday on the way. Hattie is keeping an eye on that radar for us next on News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back. 6:22 on your Monday. It's been a while since we've checked in on the polar bears over at the zoo. I don't see them out there, though.
Well, it's raining outside, so, I don't blame them. Staying inside this morning.
That's what I'd be doing.
A pool day, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of inside places at the zoo, though, so you can still head to the zoo today if you want to.
Very true.
We have a pretty nice forecast coming up. It is a little bit wet this morning. Let's take a live look at our current conditions. Cloudy skies here in Madison. We do have an east wind. That'll keep us a little cool today. Take a look at the radar map, and you'll see a lot of green showing up on the radar map. From Dane County, especially to the south and east, pretty wet this morning. Showers have been a little bit more scattered in southwestern Wisconsin, but fair game for all of us to see some rain on and off through the day. Now, right now, it's pretty light. There are a few heavier spots south and east of Janesville. You may even hear a few rumbles of thunder, but the risk for severe weather today, pretty low. Our temperatures are in the 60s, 63 in Juneau and Watertown. Janesville checks in with 64, 63 in Platteville. A little bit cooler to the north in the Dells. Temperatures are in the low 60s. As you head out the door this morning, again, keep that umbrella close by. You don't want to forget that today. Enough rain showers, maybe a little cooler than we've been used to. 69 degrees for the high today. Best chance for 70s will be south of Madison, but again, those showers are expected to continue right into the afternoon. That extended forecast has dry weather back in the area starting tomorrow, and then we do get back into the 70s right into the upcoming holiday weekend. Great forecast coming up for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. E-cigarette ads are fueling the teen vaping craze. A new study shows kids ages 12 to 17 who reported seeing e-cigarette ads in stores were twice as likely to start vaping within 2.5 years. Researchers stress the importance of regulating marketing.
When it comes to planning their futures, it looks like Generation Z wants to be stars rather than shoot for the stars. A survey from the Harris Poll asked thousands of kids what they wanted to be when they grew up, and the #1 answer, a YouTuber. 30% of kids in the UK and 29% here in the US said of the 5 job options presented to them, YouTuber was their #1 choice. And astronaut was their last choice. In China, however, it was the opposite, with 56% of the kids wanting to be astronauts and only 18% wanting to be an internet sensation.
We were talking about this earlier, how things have changed. You and I grew up watching TV, cartoons on the Saturday morning tube, and now everyone's on YouTube.
Everything's on their phone,
and
on
their iPads.
And it's just like, and even like youngsters, like 3-4-year-olds are doing that already, and I can't even think of what I was doing at that time, probably playing with toys.
What do you even watch on YouTube? I mean, I'll Google country music videos every once in a while.
Yeah, usually it's like music videos or like stuff related to news, because that's what I do, but
interesting gig.
Things have changed.
Oh yeah, 6:25 now. Still ahead for us this morning. We have the top 3 things you need to know before you head out the door on your Monday.
Also ahead, we continue to track breaking news this morning out of Fitchburg. A live look at the scene right now of a murder investigation. We'll have the latest development on this investigation from Keely Arthur live next on News 3 Now this morning.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us on your Monday, August 26th. You might want to grab the umbrella on your Monday. Hattie's back from vacation. She's bringing some raindrops with her.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do have some rain in the forecast. You can see it on the radar map, so grab that umbrella. I'll tell you when the rain will come to an end in just a few minutes.
All right, Hattie, we'll see you then. Let's get to the top 3 things that you need to know to start your Monday. At the G7 summit in France, there could be a chance for negotiation between the U.S. and China as the trade war escalates. The president said this morning that Beijing called U.S. trade representatives asking to get back to their bargaining table. Yesterday, the president admitted to having some second thoughts about his stance towards Beijing. White House aides later clarified that the president's only regret is that he didn't impose higher tariffs on Chinese imports.
The second story we're following this morning, President Trump now has a competitor for the presidential primary. Conservative radio host and former Illinois Representative Joe Walsh will challenge President Trump for the Republican presidential nomination. Last week, Walsh published an op-ed in the New York Times calling Trump a, quote, unfit con man who's bad for the country. Walsh has a history of making headlines with provocative remarks.
And rounding out the top 3 this morning, Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck is retiring. The 29-year-old stunned fans this weekend by announcing his decision 2 weeks before the season starts. Luck is a 4-time Pro Bowler who was the top pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. He said injuries have robbed him of his desire to play.
Those are the top 3 things to know on your Monday. Hattie's here now with a look at the weather and the traffic. Hey, Hattie.
Good morning, Leah and Josh. Well, what you need to know is that today rain is in the forecast. You're already seeing some of that rain across southern Wisconsin. Maybe hearing those raindrops at your house early today. You can see how the rain has been increasing in coverage just a little bit over the last 30 minutes. Expect those on and off rain showers to continue through most of the day. Maybe a few drier spots this afternoon, but with a cold front moving through tonight, we keep the chance for rain in the forecast even through the evening. Now, temperatures early this morning are in the 60s. We're looking at 63 here in Madison, 61 in the Dells, 63 in Platteville, as well as Watertown. 63 is a pretty popular number this morning. Temperatures will climb to highs only in the upper 60s here in Madison. So clouds and an east wind really keeping temperatures about 10 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Now let's get a look at those first alert traffic maps this morning. We have a few incidents to tell you about on the Beltline. On the westbound side of the Beltline, the exit ramp to Stoughton Road, there is an accident this morning. You can see a few delays showing up there. Also a little bit of recovery work on the Beltline eastbound side right around Park Street. No other incidents to tell you about. It is a little slow on Verona Road. As you approach the Beltline, though, you're adding a couple of extra minutes already. And that's your first alert traffic.
Thank you very much, Hattie. We are continuing to follow breaking news this morning out of Fitchburg, just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center.
Police are investigating a homicide on Lyman Lane. That's just off of South Fish Hatchery Road. And that's where we find Keely Arthur live this morning with the very latest. Keely?
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Well, as the sun has risen, we're beginning to see that authorities are focusing their investigation on this white and brick duplex behind me. They, of course, have not confirmed the exact address, only to say it's here at the 2700 block of Lyman Lane, where they are investigating a homicide. Now, around 9 p.m. yesterday, police received reports of a deceased male. When they arrived, they were able to confirm this, and upon further investigation, deemed the death a homicide. We don't know the manner of the death. We also don't know if this is an isolated incident or if any arrests have been made. You can see officers going in and out of that home right now. Now, as for the victim, all we know right now is that it is a male. We do not know his age. We do not know his name. But the medical examiner is going to perform an autopsy today, hopefully bringing to light exactly what happened here around 9 p.m. We will bring you those updates, of course, on News 3 Now this morning and on our website, channel3000.com, as we get them.
Keely Arthur reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Keely.
All right, coming up on 6:33 this morning, football season is finally here. We are 3 weeks into the NFL preseason, and Badgers football kicks off this weekend.
Oh, yeah. We are less than a week away from the first Badger game of the season. We're going to tell you which quarterback you'll be jumping around for Friday when News 3 Now this morning returns.
All right, welcome back at 6:36. You may have noticed I was not here on Friday. Well, I was asked to speak at my alma mater, Southwest Minnesota State University in Marshall, Minnesota, to all of the incoming freshmen and faculty and staff as they start their new school year there.
I know that school was very proud to have you back, and we were so proud to see these pictures. It's a big deal, Josh.
It was a lot of fun reconnecting with people and just kind of, obviously you can see me, I've got my hand on my heart. Like that's kind of where everything began for me and kind of the dream of being a broadcaster and being a journalist. And it's kind of crazy to see how far I've come since then, and it's also cool to see that I was once in those seats, just like all the rest of those kids and the futures that they have too, and the difference that people can make in this world.
What a great way to start your school year. A little inspiration from Josh Breiter.
It was a lot of fun. Happy to be back on the desk though this morning. So if you've got your morning that you'd like to share with us, all you have to do is send those photos to us over on our social media pages and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. The Brewers pitching staff can't seem to stay healthy this season. Jeremy Jeffries is the latest victim. He's on the injured list now with a strained left hip. It's been a tough 2019 for him overall. In his place on the roster, Ray Black, a right-handed pitcher who the Brewers got from the Giants before the trade deadline. The team lost yesterday in the series finale against Arizona 5-2, and they'll host the Cardinals tonight with Gio Gonzalez starting on the mound. We now know who the starting quarterback will be heading into the start of the Badgers football season. Jack Cohn will get the start in the season opener on Friday night with Chase Wolf and Graham Mertz both listed as backups. Coach Paul Chris says Cohn's experience gave him the edge in the quarterback competition. Cohn played in 5 games last year, making 4 starts.
Reaching out and talking to new people, and like whether it's just sitting at the lunch table with someone new each day or just hanging out with someone outside of football. I mean, everyone's got a cool story, and it's just cool meeting new people.
He's got a better understanding, I think, of himself, of our offense, of what teams are doing, and I like the progress he's made, and I do. I think that group as a whole had a good camp.
From red and white to green and gold, the Packers making some news this morning, signing 2 rookies, linebacker James Folston and cornerback Waquez Khalili. Both hit the practice field right away yesterday as the Packers get ready for their final preseason tune-up on Thursday night when they host the Chiefs. The team has also released Josh Jones. Just yesterday, he made that announcement himself on Twitter. Jones was a second-round pick in 2017, but made it known about 3 months ago that he wanted out of Green Bay. Jones was inconsistently in and out of the first team with his time with the Packers. Meanwhile, head coach Matt LaFleur getting ready for the last week of preseason.
You know, we're very intentional about charting the number of reps our guys are getting throughout practices and making sure they're getting the necessary work. So we feel good about where they are at, and, you know, they'll be ready to go week 1.
All right, with football season underway here in Wisconsin, kids are putting their skills to the test, all while raising money for cancer research. The punt pass kick competition over at Memorial High School took place yesterday. Kids ages 6 to 13 had to punt, pass, and kick a football as far as possible to win prizes. But it wasn't all about the competition. Former Badger and NFL player Tarek Saleh was there to greet kids and sign autographs. He was collecting money for pediatric cancer research.
There's so many kids affected by it, and you know, it's something we as a community want to get together and fight back and give those kids a chance.
The money raised helps benefit the Star Children's Fund.
All right, coming up on 6:40 right now on a Monday morning, and a rainy start to the week. Boy, you can barely see the Capitol behind us this morning, but it's not going to stick around for too long. There is some nice weather on the way as we take another live look outside. You're going to want to grab that umbrella because it's going to be kind of a gloomy Monday out there. Good napping weather, though.
It is, and it's not a bad idea to have your birthday party inside today. It is August 26th. We want to say happy birthday to Hank, Everett, and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Stay dry, and thanks for celebrating with us here on News 3 Now this morning. A little bit of raindrops on the lens of your Monday this morning. Oof.
Ugh, I hate Mondays when they're rainy.
I know, it doesn't help a lot. At least it's not super hot and humid.
There you go.
Silver lining. We're
Silver
trying,
lining.
Hattie. We're trying. At least we have Hattie back in our presence after she's been gone on vacation so long.
It's all the sunshine we need, Hattie. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back. It is kind of a wet start to this Monday morning, but conditions will improve. We have dry weather through most of the rest of the week. In fact, take a look at the temperature trend. As we close out August and head into September, temperatures would still typically be in the upper 70s, mid 70s by next Wednesday. We're a little bit below that through most of those days. So over the next 10 days, temperatures are going to be a little cooler, kind of a little taste of fall in the air, but things are expected to warm up. I looked at that extended forecast, and heading into next week, the first week of school for many students, does look like it's going to get warmer. Now this morning we start on a wet note. Things are really filling in on the radar map this morning, seeing a lot of green. The rain is lifting from south to north across the area, and just across the state line you can see some pockets of heavier rain. You may hear some isolated rumbles of thunder from time to time today, but the chance for severe weather is pretty low. This storm system is going to track right across northern Illinois, so it'll keep the rain in the forecast through the morning. There may be a little bit of a break, but then this next front moves in later tonight and keeps the chance for rain in the forecast tonight. Here's a look at the probability of precipitation. Again, pretty high through the morning hours, dropping down a little bit for the afternoon, but then ramping up a bit for the evening hours. So if you have evening plans, there is that potential for some rain. Now the rain chances go back down to near zero as we head into Tuesday morning. So just one rainy day for us this week. Here's a look at your travel weather. If you are traveling today, looking pretty good across the country. Not seeing any flight delays at any of the major airports this morning. So if you're escaping today, travel looks to be on time right now. Pretty wet through the Great Lakes region with showers and some isolated thunderstorms. Our nice weather over the last couple of days has moved to the east. So you'll see a lot of sunshine on the East Coast today. 74 in New York, 79 in DC. Likewise, sunshine along the West Coast. A little bit warmer there though, mid 80s in Portland. Here's a closer look at the Great Lakes region. Kind of cloudy and cool today with highs a little bit below normal. Definitely a wet start here in Madison this morning. Temperatures are in the 60s early today. We do have an east wind. That'll be with us through the day, so that'll keep temperatures down just a little bit. Take a look at your future track forecast model. Again, pretty wet through the morning hours, especially from Dane County and points to the east. Temperatures will be slow to warm up today, hitting highs only in the upper 60s here in Madison, maybe some 70s as you head towards the far southern part of the state, but generally a little bit cooler today. Here's that cold front moving in later today. I do expect those showers and thunderstorms to be weakening as they approach south central Wisconsin, so the chances for rain tonight are a little bit smaller. The forecast then dries out as we head into Tuesday. Take a look at that extended forecast. We have highs back in the 70s tomorrow. Skies will be clearing as we go through the day as well. A little breezy and cool on Wednesday with a high of 70, but overall looking pretty nice as we head into that upcoming holiday weekend. Hard to believe it's Labor Day weekend coming up. Lots of sunshine though with highs in the 70s. Here's our pet walk forecast. Jack and Miley and Lodi.
Oh.
They remind me of my kids. One's smiling and the other one's sticking the tongue out, making a funny face.
They don't mind the rain.
Yeah, no, they're cuties.
Oh, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
The morning sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning, but first here's Tony DeCopel with what's ahead at 7. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, U.S. allies break with President Trump amid the trade war with China. We're in France for the final day of the G7 meeting as the president's efforts touting a strong economy are met with skepticism. And what you can do to get more flexibility from your job, the benefits for employees and also companies of working remotely. And we don't mean remote control. We'll see you at 7.
6:50, time for the morning sprint as our team gives you more local news than anybody else every morning.
We start with an update on breaking news of a homicide investigation in Fitchburg. Keely Arthur is live with the latest. Keely?
Fitchburg police investigating a homicide here at the 2700 block of Lyman Lane. We can see this morning that they are focused on this white and brick home. Now, around 9 p.m. yesterday, a person called 911 to report a deceased male. When police arrived, they were able to confirm that it was a homicide. We don't know the manner of death. We also don't know if this is being considered an isolated incident or if any arrests have been made. An autopsy is scheduled for this morning. We will bring you any updates on channel3000.com.
Thank you very much, Keely. Breaking news nationally into the Channel 3000 Alert Center from the G7 summit. All 7 countries are voting to give $20 million in aid to fight wildfires in the Amazon. Brazil has seen an uptick in fires there this season, with at least 74,000 fires reported. That's an 80% increase from last year.
New information right now, there could be a chance for negotiation between the U.S. and China as the trade war escalates. The president said this morning that Beijing called U.S. trade representatives asking to get back to the bargaining table. Yesterday, the president admitted to having some second thoughts. However, that was later clarified that Trump's only regret is that he didn't impose higher tariffs on Chinese imports.
President Trump also has a new competitor for the presidential primary. Conservative radio host and former Illinois Representative Joe Walsh will challenge the president for the Republican nomination. Last week, Walsh published an op-ed in the New York Times calling Trump a, quote, unfit con man who's bad for the country.
White nationalist stickers are popping up in a La Crosse neighborhood. The Southern Poverty Law Center says the group is one of the white nationalist groups that posts the most flyers around the nation. The Patriot Front's manifesto says that anyone who isn't of European descent can't be American. They're also known to chant Nazi references during protests.
Madison police are still looking for a man who they say robbed a West Side gas station, then fired his gun outside. It happened at the Speedway on Verona Road just after 5 Sunday morning. No one was hurt.
And we start with wet weather this morning across southern Wisconsin. Showers lifting from the south northward through our viewing area early today. Grab that umbrella. The chance for rain continues right into the afternoon. With clouds in place and an easterly wind in those showers, temperatures will top in the upper 60s, close to 70 degrees later on today.
Patty, thank you. Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck is retiring. The 29-year-old stunned fans this weekend by announcing his decision 2 weeks before the season starts. Luck is a 4-time Pro Bowler who was the top pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. He said injuries have robbed him of his desire to play.
The Brewers pitching staff just can't seem to stay healthy this season. Reliever Jeremy Jeffress is the latest pitcher to land on the injured list. The team lost yesterday in the series finale against Arizona 5-2. They are hosting the Cardinals tonight with Gio Gonzalez starting on the mound.
We now know who the starting quarterback is heading into the start of the Badgers football season. Jack Cohn will get the start in the season opener on Friday night with Chase Wolf and Graham Mertz both listed as backups. Coach Paul Chryst says Cohn's experience gave him the edge in the quarterback competition. Cohn has played in 5 games last year, making 4 starts.
Today, for the very first time, the entire Madison School District will meet under one roof to talk about racial equity. At least 7 teachers or substitutes had lost their jobs or resigned for using racial slurs in the presence of students during the last school year. This morning, thousands of staff and teachers will be at the Coliseum hearing from keynote speaker Dr. Bettina Love. Love was the headliner of the Racial Justice Summit last year.
E-cigarette ads are fueling the teen vaping craze. A new study shows kids ages 12 to 17 who reported seeing e-cigarette ads in stores were twice as likely to start vaping within 2.5 years. Researchers stress the importance of regulated marketing.
A 44-year-old Milton man is dead after his motorcycle crashed into a car in McFarland. It happened at Highway 51 at Siggelco Road just before noon on Sunday. That's where a motorcycle rear-ended a car in front of him that was stopped for a crane crossing the road. That man died at the hospital.
Another motorcyclist is recovering this morning after a crash in Madison Saturday night. Police responded to the crash on Aberg and Packers Avenue around 9:20. Officers say a 41-year-old man was riding his motorcycle on Aberg Avenue when a woman pulled out in front of him. That crashed through the motorcyclist over the car, and the woman was arrested on suspicion of OWI.
Starting today, there's a new way to get between Madison and Sun Prairie. Madison Metro is offering a new express commuter bus line. The route runs between the Capitol Square and Sun Prairie during morning and afternoon peak hours. It includes stops at a new park and ride in Sun Prairie, just off the Reiner Road Highway 151 exit, as well as West Main Street, O'Keefe Avenue, and the Prairie Lake shopping area.
If you are headed to Verona this morning, traffic could be epic, literally. Today is the first day of Epic's 2019 Users Group meeting. More than 8,000 people from around the world are in Madison and will be commuting by bus to get to and from the Verona campus each morning and afternoon. We're expecting this to add delays to your commute, especially if you're driving through downtown or in Verona.
And with a look at the rest of your morning commute, let's turn it over to Jason Stone. Hi, Jason.
Hello. Only minor delays at a pair of incidents being reported. First, a vehicle is blocking the left shoulder following the South Park exit on the Beltline heading eastbound. And there's a crash on the ramp from Stoughton Road to the westbound Beltline. Everything is going well on John Nolan heading downtown. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thanks very much, Jason.
And here's another look at the radar map this morning so you can see exactly where the rain is falling. It's a cloudy start to the day today. We have showers expected through the morning right into the afternoon hours. You can see some heavier rain starting to lift northward out of Illinois into southern Wisconsin this morning. We'll see those pockets of heavy rain lift northward through the next couple of hours. The best chance to see about a ½ inch of precipitation accumulation today will be south and east of Madison. Your temperatures will stay a little bit cooler today as well. We're looking at highs only in the upper 60s later on this afternoon thanks to the clouds and easterly winds. Sunshine, though, is back in the forecast for tomorrow, and it looks pretty quiet heading into the upcoming holiday weekend.
Even if you're bringing a little rain, we are so glad to have you home from vacation, Hattie.
Thank you. Good to be back.
All right, and thanks for joining us, everyone. Go make it a great Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
I say